What if I told you that the best digital theater production ever developed wasn't actually on Broadway, but on the NES instead, and the stars of this play? None other than Mario, Luigi, and a whole cast of new enemies, challenges, and hidden secrets throughout 8 incredibly dynamic, playable worlds. It was no question in many fanatics' minds what game reigned supreme in the late 80s and early 90s. The movie The Wizard not only introduced us to the seemingly magical appeal of Super Mario Bros. 3, but also to the ultra cool factor of the hidden secrets in the game. Go get that warp whistle, Jimmy. Seriously, I honestly believe the incredible success of this game was a direct derivative of how many secrets the developers had masterfully hidden for those players with the skill, patience, and willingness to explore every aspect of this game's outstanding level design. Of course, to fully explore each level for exciting hidden secrets and eventually be able to get to the 8th world, the Dark Land, and defeat Bowser could require a lot of additional lives being used in the process. In order to figure out the best methods for collecting additional lives throughout the game, in order to have the best gaming experience possible, at least from an exploration standpoint, I first consulted my original Super Mario Bros. 3 instruction manual. In it, I only really found some singular elements of moves and strategies I would need to perform in order to increase my number of lives outside of the traditional well-known methods for getting 1-ups. For example, the flying float as well as super jump are good to know in general, but how could I use them in conjunction to increase my normal amount of 1-ups? Also, while the new techniques were good to know, it was actually the enemy chain reaction and doubling points which was the most useful, even though they didn't explicitly tell you this could eventually lead to a series of 1-ups. Finally, the Mario staff wrote a kind letter to its players emphasizing the many more hidden things in the game adding to the challenge. Thanks, Mario staff. Luckily for me, the Nintendo Power Strategy Guide had the 1-up detail I was looking for. You didn't have to look past page 7 of the strategy guide to find Mario's unlimited 1-up techniques, including such methods as the oscillating Koopa technique, the Goomba stomp technique, the vine method, and the multiple 1-up / 200 plus coin stage technique, all of which I will be showcasing today in one way or another, expanding on them as well to ensure you can max out your lives towards the beginning of the game and try to keep them maxed out all the way through to the awesome end credits. What was my inspiration for creating this video? I realized that some of my friends didn't already know how to do this, and since it significantly adds to the player's ability to truly explore all the wonders this masterpiece has to offer, I wanted to create a visual how-to strategy on maxing out lives in this epic game. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications for future videos. Do it for the love of awesome video games. Alright, let's start in World 1, Grassland, with some progressive Goomba stomping. What if I told you that you could completely max out your lives, get to 99 within 10 minutes of starting Super Mario Bros. 3? Well, it might take a little practice, but once you get the super jump, then flying float combination down, you can really rack up the extra lives here. Here's the first area in the second level where it's possible. Simply wait for at least 3 Goombas to come out, then perform the super jump by pressing jump just as soon as you stomp the Goomba, then take up as much time in the air as you can, and continue stomping Goombas until the points turn into extra lives. Since you can really only get a couple of extra lives at a time in this first section of the level, progress to the right where you can do essentially the exact same thing, except that there can be more Goombas on the screen at once here, so it's easier to continue stomping Goombas without touching the ground. Simply stomp the flying Goomba or use it as part of your point tally. I tend to stomp it first only because I feel like there's a greater chance it'll hit you than you stomping it, and wait for there to be 5 Goombas on the screen and start stomping them until you hit 99 lives or the time runs out and you can repeat this process. If you touch the ground at any point, don't worry. Simply start the process again with 5 Goombas on screen. Once at 99 lives, finish the level and play the card matching game to add items to your now maxed out lives. A couple of things to note are that you want to fly and float between the pipe where the Goombas come out and to the right where the Goombas start to amass themselves to make sure to balance keeping a steady flow of Goombas coming out while also not getting rid of the existing Goombas by floating too far away from them. Also, if you die in this level from timing out, you'll need to get a mushroom and a super leaf in the later portion of the level and come back to this area to continue this one-up trick. So after maxing out your lives and adding power-ups via the card matching game, you're set up quite nicely to continue playing this game. On to World 2, Desert Land, where the dry bones will be our key to additional lives. Simply start the first castle in the world and prepare to do the same super jump and flying float combination as in World 1. Now it's important to note that you'll want to start this castle with Raccoon Mario, or simply go ahead in the castle and grab a super leaf from either the power-ups in the castle and then head back here, which is what I ended up doing since I had Fire Mario initially. Wait until all three dry bones are close together, or move them closer together strategically by stomping them, and then start the dry bones stomping while super jumping and then floating to watch your lives max out again to 99. Once you get to 99 lives, simply finish the castle and progress with the rest of the world. On to World 3, Waterland, where the oscillating enemy technique will refill any lives you lost. Go ahead and start the 4th level of World 3, no power-ups initially required, and head through the level. Be sure to not get hit. Collect the power-ups as necessary. I always collect the first 2 power-ups so I can easily defeat all of the non-replenishable enemies on the screen. In fact, I make it a point to get rid of the Piranha Plant and all the other Goombas leading up to the appearance of Lakitu. Go ahead and grab the firepower, defeat any of the Goombas, collect the coins as you feel necessary, making sure to avoid any enemy firepower, and of course, defeat the Piranha Plant as it will prove to be a nuisance later if you don't. Go ahead and progress to the right until you trigger the appearance of Lakitu, then lead him back to where the pipe is, making sure to avoid any spiny eggs, and also be cautious of the slowdown in the game mechanics due to the sheer amount of people on the screen. Wait for a good chance and make sure to stomp on a Koopa shell, and then you're going to want to pick it up. Wait for your opportunity, stomp on the Koopa shell, pick it up, and place it between the 2 blocks underneath the pipe. Then duck or dodge any green unhatched spiny eggs Lakitu tries to throw at you, while the Koopa shell starts to rack up points and eventually 1-ups. A quick piece of fun trivia, this is actually the only original Mario that contains this variant of the spiny egg, and it couldn't come in a more strategic location to enable you to max out extra lives. Just one quick note, make sure to collect at least one of the power-ups because every once in a while, Lakitu will throw a spiny egg that could potentially hit you. Thank you, Lakitu, for getting us back to 99 lives. And next up in World 3 is Level 9, where again there is no real power-up requirement in order to execute the 1-up trick. Simply stomp on the first flying Koopa twice, then pick up its shell, avoid any other enemies on screen you both don't want to get hit by and don't want to accidentally use the Koopa shell on them, nor have it come back to its walking form, and hurry to place it between the 2 bullet bill posts underneath the platform shown here. Defeat the Bob-omb up top and watch the points double up until they turn into an oscillating 1-up chain. As a reference for the point chain to start giving out 1-ups, you'll need to first defeat 8 enemies on screen, where the point totals start at 100 and eventually get to 8,000 before the first 1-up is given out. After that, it will give out nothing but 1-ups as long as the enemies continue to be defeated in a row, like bullet bills, or as long as the player stays off the ground while continuing to stomp on enemies consecutively. I seriously want to give a major shout out to Nintendo Power Super Mario Bros. 3 Strategy Guide for these amazing 1-up techniques. The developers of this legendary game really pulled out all the stops in delivering exhilarating, but sometimes non-obvious secrets. Max out your lives at 99 and let's continue this epic game. Now to my favorite, World 5, Skyland, where the sky is truly the limit for maxing out lives. In the second level of this world, start the level with either Raccoon or Tanuki Mario, so you can use its tail to float in the beginning of the level. I personally prefer the Tanuki suit, as it is my absolute favorite version of Mario ever. Using either suit, float to the right after exiting the pipe. Be extra careful maneuvering and jumping up to the blocks and platform up top. Defeat the Koopas and jump into the above pipe as soon as you get a chance. Next, progress to the right in the level, defeating or avoiding all the enemies on the screen and eventually go down the pipe. Do not try to jump over the next hill. After exiting the pipe, hit the question block to receive 3 1-ups. There is also a fire power-up located in the block to the left if you want and or need it. If you want to keep getting 3 1-ups plus any coins you collect in the level, simply let enemies defeat you and repeat this process. However, you will lose the Tanuki Mario when you start again if you die. Just as a heads up, have I mentioned I love the Tanuki version of Mario yet? Not sure. Next is World 7 Pipeland, one of the most difficult worlds, so better stock up on lives. In this world, go to the castle shown on the screen and get ready to dive into coins like Scrooge McDuck. Seriously, I think the developers felt bad for the sudden large increase in difficulty in this world, so they included this coin castle. Simply jump on the P switch, then collect as many coins as possible before they turn back into blocks. You can actually exit and re-enter the room to repeat the process for as long as you want until you max out on lives or until time runs out. To actually beat the castle, grab the raccoon tail in the other room and fly to the top pipe in the large, non-coin field main room. Scrooge McDuck mode officially unlocked. If you're running low on lives entering this castle, simply collect coins until time expires, then play the castle again and again until you max out. I got 99 lives and the castle done. These are just some of the examples of ways to max out your lives in Super Mario Bros. 3. Here's a few more advanced ones to really get you thinking. World 2, start the 5th level. For this trick to work, it will require the raccoon tail, or I guess maybe not if you are ridiculously skilled at this game, but for most casual gamers it will definitely require the raccoon tail and a decent amount of setup. First, you are going to want to stomp on and pick up one of the Koopas here to place it to the right on top of the platform to activate the vine. Next, you'll hit the Koopas with your tail to move as many of them as you can to the platform directly to the right of the vine. Once they start walking again, you can stomp on them one at a time to double the point totals until you start collecting 1-ups. After stomping on the walking Koopas, simply go to the vine and hang out until they start walking again. Repeat until you max out on lives. Tarzan, king of the 1-ups. Please note it is technically possible to place more than 2 Koopas on this platform to move the process along faster. I just did 2 as an example. Also, you can definitely do this trick in other levels as well, so be sure to keep an eye out for any time you see a vine and Koopas or other enemies that have multiple forms. I honestly would have never even thought about the potential of this 1-up trick to work without the Nintendo Power Strategy Guide. You better believe that. It truly makes me wonder how many more tricks and secrets are out there still hidden and waiting to be discovered. I think it's one of the reasons why Super Mario Bros. 3 has such an incredibly high replayability factor many years after being introduced to the video game world. I know it makes me want to personally keep playing it. In the 4th level of the 5th world is another more advanced technique. At the end of the level, let Lakitu drop as many spinies as will fit on a screen, then finish the level to receive a 1-up. Pretty magical, right? This was not in Nintendo Power. And then finally, since some of the primary elements you are looking for in discovering ways to max out lives are a lot of replenishable enemies on the screen and the ability to either remain airbound in some way while stomping bad guys in consecutive order or having a Koopa shell do your bidding, World 8 is an absolute treasure trove of opportunity if you hone your skills enough. This bullet bill sequence in World 8-1 is one of many where if you happen to have a raccoon tail or tanuki suit, you just may be able to continue maxing out your lives. Trust me, this took practice, but I felt like the Michael Jordan of gaming afterwards. So this should be enough to get you through Super Mario Bros. 3 successfully, while hopefully also giving you the confidence to do more what makes this game truly special, exploring the unknown and discovering even more secrets. I would be an absolute fool to think that these are the only methods for maxing out your lives quickly, so let's just agree to put on our Sherlock Mario hats and go find the rest. No matter how you play Super Mario Bros. 3 and try to add 1-ups to your game, let us all just rejoice in the fact that this game was full of some of the most ingenious and ridiculously fun to explore gameplay. I will cheers to that. That's it. Those are our ways for you to max out and hopefully continue to keep your lives maxed out in Super Mario Bros. 3. Thank you so much for watching my video. It was a real pleasure to put it together. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like it and subscribe to my channel as well as turn on notifications for future videos. Also, if you learned something new from my video or know of an additional way to max out lives in this game, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Additionally, feel free to share this video with anyone who might gain value from it or might learn something new. Thank you again for watching, and remember, Damn, it feels good to be a gamer.